Hey guys, I'm Ethan Starr. I'm going to be demonstrating some intermediate level sushi skills today. I'm going to show you how to make sushi nigiri, a sashimi, a sushi roll with rice, and a sushi roll without rice. So let's get started. Okay, so now I'm going to start cutting the fish for the nigiri. Being careful to keep my knife at a 45-degree angle while I'm going through the fish. So whenever you're cutting, make sure to make it a smooth motion. Don't make any jagged cuts. That way you get through in one slice and make straight, nice edges. So now we're going to grab the rice for our nigiri. I usually keep it in between two fingers, making sure that I have the correct size. And then whenever you grab the fish, make sure not to touch it too much because then it'll start to warm up the fish. So then you want to shape it, push it through your fingers, and then go over the top one more time just to make sure that it's smoothly connected to all the rice. So whenever we're cutting the sashimi, we're going to do really thin slices this time because we're going to turn it up into a rose. So we're going to cut about 7 to 8 pieces, really thin slices, the same angle and same method that we used while cutting the nigiri. And then as we're placing them in a straight line, that makes it easier for us to turn it into a rose later. So now I'm going to use my chopsticks and use them to aid me in twisting up the fish, making sure that it makes a tight rose, because if it's not tight enough, it's all going to fall apart. So as you're going, you want to keep a good pressure on the chopsticks as well as your second hand guiding the fish and making sure that it comes together smoothly. Now we're going to cut the avocado, make sure that it's in a real thin straight line, all going forward, making sure that you keep a good angle on your avocado so that you get similar slices all the way across, because if not, you're going to get really wide slices by the time you're finished with it. And now the same way, we're going to curve them all up, and I'm going to twist them together with my hands this time and just form a nice spiral. So now that we have that, we're going to finish and we're going to plate all of them together. Here I've got my shiso, the Japanese mint leaf. I'm going to place that on the bottom and put our tuna. And then we're going to go back and we're going to grab our nigiri. So now that we have got all those together, here's our nice little avocado, tuna sashimi, and 4 pieces of tuna nigiri. And so next we're going to work on a uramaki roll. That is a rice out with seaweed paper. So whenever we're putting rice down on the seaweed paper, we're going to be careful to not mat it too much, because if it's pressed down too hard, then it's going to be difficult to roll later, and the rice is going to be very tough and a little bit gummy. So here I'm going to add a little bit of imitation crab mix and cucumber. Now I'm going to slice up a little bit of avocado to put inside the roll also. And once we have all that, we're going to grab our maki-su, get that underneath the roll there, make sure to keep everything nice and tight. I'm going to get my thumbs underneath the mat and pull everything over the top one time. Now I'm going to open the mat and check to make sure that I have all the ingredients inside the roll the first time. And now pull back on it to add some more pressure. Make sure that everything is nice and tight inside. And then we're going to add some salmon and avocado. So now that I have my salmon out, I'm going to cut 3 small slices, a little bit thinner than a nigiri slice. We're going to place those on top of the roll. And then I'm going to slice some avocado. And so whenever I'm putting the avocado on, I'm going to slightly lift up on the salmon. Make sure everything is tucked underneath so that it looks nice and neat. Cutting rolls with fish on top of them, you're going to need to put a piece of saran wrap just so that the fish doesn't separate from the roll or stick to your knife. And now that we've got that on there, I'm going to use my dry maki-su, one without plastic wrap on it, just to firm up the roll, prime it a little bit, make sure that it's good and neat, and then we're going to cut 9 pieces. So whenever you're plating, you want to make sure that you stagger them to where you can see the cross section on all the rolls, so that each roll you can see what's inside of it, so that they're equal distance all the way across the plate. So now we're going to add a little bit of wasabi cream sauce on top, making sure all the lines are nice and even. And then we're going to add an aji amarillo pepper puree. That's a Peruvian chili pepper, so it's a little bit spicy and it's got great color. And next we're going to work on a riceless daikon wrap. This daikon wrap is a Japanese daikon that's turned thinly. That way we can use it in lieu of the seaweed and rice. So what we're going to add here is I'm going to thinly slice some salmon sashimi and use that as my first layer so that everything turns smoothly as I'm rolling it up. And then we're going to add a little bit of avocado in the same method that we used earlier. Nice thin slices all the way across. and lay that on top of our daikon. Now we're going to add the spring mix, just a little bit of spinach and other mixed green, and some cucumber, and some more of the imitation crab mix. And so whenever we're rolling this up, you want to make sure that you add a little bit of pressure to make sure it's good and tight, but at the same time being gentle, because the daikon is so thin that has a tendency to break. So if it breaks on you, you can always add another piece and keep rolling. And so now that I have it all rolled up and it's nice and tight, I'm going to cut the ends off, and then I'm going to keep going. And here's about 8-piece roll. So whenever I'm plating this one, I want to get a good circle because the roll is in a circle. And so we're going to use a square plate, and that adds to the plating presentation. The more shapes and the more colors you have, the better the appearance is. So whenever we're adding all this together, I'm going to put a little bit of a sweet pepper relish. So it's red and yellow bell peppers. And then the purple is a pickled cucumber and pickled ginger mix. And so as we're delicately putting this on top, making sure that you put it in the center of each piece, and then we're going to go back and add a little bit more of the aji amarillo just to add some good color and a little bit of spice. The other sauce that we have on here is going to be a spicy vinaigrette made with a little bit of sesame oil, sushi vinegar, and sriracha hot sauce. Alright, well, thanks for watching, guys. Once again, I'm Ethan Starr, and hope you guys look forward to seeing more videos. We're going to be doing a lot of sushi. So, thanks.